So I'm out for a run on day one of my reverse diet. So competition season's over. I've just had a week off, and when I say I had a week off, I mean I had a week off. I have done no formal exercise since 2 days before my last competition, and I feel well rested. I'm excited for training. I've just got over the jet lag, so I had a bit longer off than I normally do. Normally I suggest having kind of an active recovery week after competing, but with the jet lag as well and travelling, I had a full week off. All I've done is a bit of walking, and that's been enough to keep me ticking over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop the video and show you my first weigh-in. That was my first weigh-in. That was this morning, and I am 1.5 kilos or about £3 up on my stage day weight. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, considering I've pretty much eaten whatever I want for the last week and not done any formal training. How can I get away with that? Because I don't do extremes, I don't starve myself, I don't do any really crazy stuff with my diet. It's just a gradual progression. So that allows me to have a healthy metabolism all year round. And what I do now is my reverse diet, where I'm going to gradually improve my metabolism so that I can tolerate even better calories. Oh, I just want to see if I can get this in the background. Oh, the camera's not doing it justice. The sunrise over the water just looks incredible this morning. I'm going to see if I can get a picture. So I'm just going to stop a sec. So I tried to get a picture, but it's just not doing it justice. I need a better camera for things like that. Anyway, someone asked me a really good question on my Facebook page today, which was, do I have an off-season, or do I aim to progress all year round? So I really want to just quickly explain that and answer it. Basically, I don't do the traditional bodybuilding, bulking and cutting for a few reasons. One, it's forced yo-yo dieting, which is probably the most unhealthy thing you can put your body through. So I don't do extremes of bulking, and I don't do extremes of dieting. I also compete in athletics, so why would I want to just get fat on the off season just to have to diet even harder afterwards, and it would have a detrimental effect on my performance on the track, which I'm generally competing on track over the winter, which is normally the bodybuilding off season. So I've got some good reasons not to be doing that. So what I would say is I don't really have a season and an off season particularly. I use those terms because it's what people are familiar with, but I don't generally do that. What I do is I just change my focus depending on my goals. So I'm working on progression all year round. And this might be a good way for other people to look at it as well, because a lot of people get really demotivated on the off season because they're not focusing on an imminent goal. So what I would say is I focus on progression all year round. I just change the focus of that progression. So when I'm in my kind of 3-4 month prep for a show, my focus is on bringing in condition, and that is all competition prep is bringing in condition. That's not when you make improvements, that's not when you grow muscle. All prep is going to do is bring out what you did in your off season. So during the winter, when you're not competing, if you slack off and you're not focusing on your training properly and on your nutrition, you're going to have nothing new to show when you go into your next comp prep. So it's really important to keep that focus year round. So when I finish my competition season, my focus shifts from condition to building muscle. So everything I do is geared to that. Then as I get closer to the athletics track season, I then shift my focus again onto performance, onto strength, onto speed, onto power. And that is also helping with the muscle growth and keeping my condition off season. So the two work really well together. They don't work against each other, they work together. And then as the athletics indoor season comes to a close I'm usually thinking about starting to get ready for my next athletics season, my next bodybuilding season. So then my focus shifts again back onto conditioning. But if I've stayed fairly tight all year round, I'm not going to have too difficult a journey once my competition season starts, which is why I've always been able to compete in so many competitions all year round. I've done over 70 competitions now in 7 years, which is an average of 10 a year. But I had 1 year where I only competed once, so I've competed a lot more than that in a year. I think my maximum was about 13, 14. And that was manageable for me because I can maintain my competition shape for quite a long time because I don't go crazy low with my diet. Anyway, if you're following my blogs, you'll have an idea of how I manage all this. But I thought, just because the competition season's over, doesn't mean I should stop these blogs. I think there's a lot to be learnt by what athletes do in the off-season. Because, like I say, that is where all your improvements are going to come. And if it helps you stay focused by following what I'm doing, then happy days. So, I'm going to blog each week and just give you an idea of what that week's focus was, how my weight and my body's changing, and hopefully you'll find that useful and helpful with your own off-season. Okay, well, I'm off to do... Sorry, it's really noisy. I'm just off to some steps because I'm going to do some stair running for my first session back, which I'm sure probably some people think sounds crazy, but I'm kind of addicted to sprinting stairs, and it's great for your posterior chain, for your glutes and hamstrings, and it's also going to help get me ready for my track sessions, which start later this week. Okay. Ten of those today. It's day 3 of my first week of off-season and reverse diet, and so far this week I started off with my stair climbing session, my first weight session, and today I've got like an active recovery day. As predicted, my full body weight session yesterday has left me with DOMs pretty much everywhere. So today I'm just having a kind of jog walk to the gym. I'm going to do some core work and some glute activation work. Most people hate doing sort of core and glute activation. It's a bit boring, you don't really feel like you're working that hard. However, especially with glutes, most women have lazy glutes that don't really fire properly because of the fact that most of us sit down a lot during the day, so our muscles just switch off. And although it's boring and it's time consuming, it's a great way to sort of keep active on your recovery day, and it's really important because it's not something you can just do for a few weeks and then that's it, they're fine forever. So when I'm starting a new training block, I quite often spend some time doing my glute work, and then as my training gets a bit more full on, I might do less of it, just a little bit for a warm-up maybe on leg days. But while I've got the time now, while I'm just building my training back up, I'll give it some focus. So that's what I'm heading to now, and as you can see, it's the rain in Spain, falling mainly over Majorca. It's been like this for 2 days. Hopefully we won't have too much of it because I don't like the cold weather, hence why I'm living in Spain. So anyway, I'm just going to get on so I can run to the gym. But I just thought I'd catch up and let you know how my first week is going.